Let's face it, everyone wants big arms, yet so many people focus solely on growing their biceps instead of the massive muscle on the opposite side of their arm, the triceps. What most people don't know is that the triceps are the second largest muscle in the upper body, only slightly behind the shoulders. Meanwhile, those people doing 30 sets of bicep curls every week don't realize they're training a tiny muscle that is nearly 3 times smaller than their triceps. What I'm saying is you need to start giving your triceps the attention they deserve, especially if you're trying to grow bigger arms. To help you out, I'm gonna cover nearly everything you'll ever need to know about how to train and grow your triceps in this video. Starting, of course, with a quick lesson in anatomy. The full name of this muscle is triceps brachii. And I'm making a point of this because there's another triceps muscle in the body, your calves, which are known as the triceps surae. The triceps on your arm, however, are made up of 3 separate muscle heads. The lateral head, which sits on the outside of the arm, the long head, which is on the far back of your arm closest to your body, and the medial head, which is located directly in the middle of the arm and is mostly covered up by the other 2 muscles. All 3 heads of the triceps work to extend or straighten the elbow. While this is basically all that the lateral and medial head can do, the long head is capable of a lot more. Because the long head of the triceps crosses both the elbow and shoulder joint. It can actually help extend and adduct your shoulder joint, which are 2 functions of the lats as well. This means your triceps actually get somewhat trained during back exercises like pull-ups and dumbbell rows. Now, when it comes to training your triceps, we clearly need to choose exercises that extend the elbow against resistance. This includes any variations of pushdowns, overhead extensions, skull crushers, presses, push-ups, dips, etc. Since many of you are likely already familiar with most of these exercises, I should tell you that the key to growing your triceps is not knowing what exercises train them, but rather how each exercise targets the 3 muscle heads. When it comes to the research behind how to best target each head of the triceps, the research is extremely conflicting. In fact, there are studies on this topic published within the past 3 years that directly contradict each other. One thing we can say for certain though is that the lateral and medial heads get trained almost equally in just about every triceps exercise, since their only job is to straighten the elbow. That said, the confusion comes when discussing the long head because of how it crosses the shoulder joint. In the past, everyone was taught that the higher your shoulders were raised, the more stretched the long head would become, resulting in it being trained harder. This theory was further proved by a 2022 study that found overhead extensions resulted in substantially more triceps growth than pushdowns. However, other studies that researched the biomechanics of the triceps found that the long head has extremely minimal leverage when the arms are above shoulder height and instead have the most leverage when the arms are down by the sides. This would imply that the long head of the triceps is best trained when your arms are down by your sides doing pushdowns and is not being trained as hard when they're overhead. As you can tell, this contradicting research helps absolutely no one. With that being known though, the simple solution here is to simply ignore the details and instead focus on doing a variety of triceps exercises that'll train them in all different shoulder heights. Let's go over some of the ways to get the most out of your triceps exercises. In pressing exercises such as bench press or push-ups, you can better target your triceps by using a closer grip or hand position, such as close grip bench press or diamond push-ups. The important thing to note here is that the closer grip makes your triceps work harder because it allows your elbows to get further behind your body, resulting in them being stretched more. This means that your grip doesn't have to be super close. It only needs to be close enough to allow this extra range of motion in your elbows. Since we're on the topic of range of motion, I should remind you that a full range of motion should apply to all triceps exercises, not just close grip presses or push-ups. In order to stretch your triceps and get as much growth as possible, you should be trying to overlap your upper arm with your forearm. This means that on a dumbbell overhead extension, you should be trying to get the dumbbell as far down your back as possible without moving your elbow. In nearly every triceps exercise you do, your elbow should stay as still as possible. This means in a triceps pushdown, you shouldn't raise your elbows up in front of you at the end of each rep. Similarly with skull crushers, you shouldn't be letting your elbows travel back and forth with the bar. Otherwise, you're basically just doing a pullover at that point. Simply put, if your elbows are moving, it means another muscle other than your triceps is also working. Lastly, before we move on, I should also clarify that hand orientation does not affect the triceps. This means doing a supinated or underhand grip pushdown is not going to work your triceps any differently than using a pronated grip or a rope would. That said, an underhand grip can actually be worse though, as the weak grip will generally limit how much weight you're able to use on this exercise. Finally, taking into account everything we've covered in this video, it's time to leave you guys with a plan to help you build your own perfect triceps workout. This workout structure is highly customizable, and the amounts of sets and reps you perform is entirely up to you and should be in line with your personal training goals. The first exercise you should include in your triceps workouts is any type of push down variation that places your elbows near your sides. This would be a bar push down, rope push down, or single arm push down. You could also try changing the angle of this exercise by doing these unilaterally or using a single arm and letting the cable run across the body. By doing this, you also have the option of changing the position of your elbow, allowing you to hit the muscle from a different angle. For exercise number 2, I'd highly recommend doing skull crushers or any triceps exercise with your elbows near shoulder height. This could include dumbbell skull crushers, easy bar skull crushers, cable overhead extensions in which you lean forward, or even TRX triceps extensions. Remember to keep your elbows somewhat close to your head on all these exercises. Now for the third exercise in your workout, be sure to include an overhead extension in which your elbows are raised far over your head. These could be done using dumbbells, cables, or an easy bar. Lastly, this fourth exercise is completely optional. If anything, the prior 3 exercises should be more than enough to grow your triceps to their fullest extent. However, for those of you who train triceps with chest, you might consider including close grip presses or dips as part of this workout. Since both are generally heavy exercises, I'd recommend doing these first in your workout. All right, as you may have been able to tell, the theme of this workout structure is variety. The design of any great triceps workout should include exercises that target them in all different shoulder positions, by your sides, in front of your face, over your head, etc. By including this variety in your workouts, you'll be sure that all 3 regions of your triceps are being fully trained. Hopefully by now you have a solid understanding of how to train and grow your triceps. As I stressed at the beginning of this video, the triceps are not just a small muscle on your arm, they're the 4th largest muscle in your entire body. With such size, it only makes sense to train them with as much effort as you would your chest, back, or legs. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new and useful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel to help us make even better content in the future. Also, make sure you check out the links in the description below if you want help with any of your fitness goals. And if you have any suggestions for videos you want me to make, please leave a comment below as well. As always, get busy, get after it, and God bless.